the Philippine officials continue to downplay China's threat of releasing audio evidence of the so-called new model in the Ayungin Shoal. AFP Chief Romeo Browner said transcripts can easily be fabricated and audio recordings can be manufactured by using deep fakes. He adds these reports serve as a distraction from the China Coast Guard's ongoing aggressive behavior in the West Philippine Sea.
The Department of Foreign Affairs is cautioning the public against falling for false narratives. The DFA said that resorting to tactics like releasing unverifiable recordings demonstrate efforts to sow discord and confusion among Philippine agencies and the Filipino public.
On the other hand, China remains firm in its position. Its foreign ministry said the facts are clear and backed by hard evidence that cannot be denied. The Philippines has insisted on denying these objective facts and seeks to mislead the international community. This hurts its own credibility and puts peace and stability in the South China Sea in jeopardy.
Joining us tonight to talk more about this supposed audio evidence that China has, we have AFP Spokesperson Col Francel Padilla. Good evening, Colonel.
Good evening, Regina, Sean, and Gretchen, and good evening to all the viewers of The Big Story.
Colonel, medyo malakas ang loob ng Chinese Embassy in Manila to say that they will release an audio recording plus a transcript of this conversation, of this agreement. I mean, first of all, does China have some sort of a direct line with the AFP officials?
From the side of the AFP, we do not wish to dignify this statement anymore because this is clearly a propaganda on the side of the Chinese. The transcript, as our chief of staff has said, could easily be fabricated. We do not have any proof that it is authentic, and for all we know, the telephone conversation that is being said might even be a deep fake.
Okay, so are you saying, Colonel, that the Westcom chief Carlos never spoke to any Chinese officials? How do these things even go? If there's no direct line, do they have some sort of mechanism where they are constantly in touch in an official capacity?
Any personnel from the Armed Forces of the Philippines, wala po kami na any wala kaming direct line to this embassy officials. We cannot come into an agreement. So for this agreement that involves national security and it has national security implications, it can only be the president. So the DFA already gave the statement on this, as well as the NSC and also the DND. And we are one with them from the AFP side that this is only pure propaganda to dissuade us from the real issue of what.
Before you concluded that this is propaganda and fake news, did you do some sort of investigation down the line of by the Chinese embassy?
For the side of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, we do not react on unsubstantiated, unverified, and questionable sources.
Okay, so no. Colonel.
I understand the suspicion over the so-called audio recording, because as you pointed out, it has yet to be proven, but they have also released a transcript of that conversation to two news outlets, to Manila Times and to Bloomberg, right? So of course these news outlets are themselves trying to verify the origins of this transcript. But let's say if proven correct, what is the AFP going to do? One of the items on that transcript points out, for instance, that the Admiral Carlos has agreed to notify China at least 2 days ahead of a resupply mission. Let's just assume at this point that it is proven to be true. What is the AFP's recourse?
Again, ma'am, we remain with our stand that we wish to put this issue already into the grave because this is not the real issue at hand. So we would rather talk about how we would fortify our national security, secure our sovereignty on the side of how the AFP will be better equipped, better be prepared towards external aggression and not really delve on propaganda issues.
Okay, fair enough. So let's talk about fortifying our defenses. What is the AFP doing at the moment in terms of addressing the issues in the West Philippine Sea?
From the start of the onset of the year, we already began with a tall order from our president to finish once and for all our insurgency problem. So as you can see, the AFP is really focused and determined to finish this insurgency problem in order for us to face a bigger challenge, which is external defense. So with this external defense, we are also very focused, and you can see the zeal of every Filipino and U.S. troops in our Balikatan exercises that are happening. And you will see that the training is really on the way, as well as our modernization projects.
Colonel, medyo babalik ko lang sa Western Command, ano? Kasi hindi maiwasan na malagyan ng kulay yung timing of the Vice Admiral Carlos taking a leave during such, an important time where he was actually implicated here. Has he been notified about what's been happening? What has been his reaction?
For sure, ma'am, no, he is also viewing the news. But his leave was effective since the 3rd of May. His deputy, General Quemado, already took the helm of command as his acting commander since the 3rd of May, well before the transcripts and the news came out of this so-called transcript of an alleged conversation, no? And it was only during the 6th of May that the assumption of Vice Admiral Torres was put into place, no? So this happens in order for us to have a to be able to put somebody in charge, no? So that we will not have a leadership vacuum. So pag may mga matataas na opisyal po tayong umaalis down the line, no, we really designate somebody in an acting capacity.
For the
So si
purposes
General
of
Torres, acting capacity po siya during the absence po of Vice Admiral Carlos.
for the purposes of connecting with Vice Admiral Carlos, until when is he on leave?
There is no date that was specified for his leave, but Vice Admiral Torres will take his place during the duration of his absence.
And
Sorry,
will
Colonel,
be-
that sounds a little bit unusual for him not to have an end date on his leave. If it is a personal leave and he is a high-ranking official, should that not be made public?
That is why we have somebody in an acting capacity. So the same is true when even our chief of staff went abroad. During the duration of his travel abroad, there is somebody who's taking his place
Correct.
as an officer in charge. So if his trip extends, then that is the duration, of course, also of the acting capacity. So the same is true with the orders of Vice Admiral Torres. He is in an acting capacity during the duration of the absence of the incumbent.
Correct, but when the chief of staff travels abroad, there's a clear start date and end date to his travel, to his being away from the country. Same
Yes,
goes
but there's still the possibility of it being extended. That's why the orders are open-ended.
Okay, we understand also that it was Vice Admiral Carlos who was hit, or whose boat he was riding was hit by a water cannon like earlier this year. His leave has nothing to do with that, or any injuries possibly incurred in that encounter?
That could be a possibility. So we respect his application for personal leave. So we will not divulge the reason, as we would like to respect his decision to file for a leave.
And his interim replacement, as you said, are there new marching orders for this? The one currently in head, or Rear Admiral Torres, is it, who's currently heading the Westcom? Have there been a change in how he was ordered, perhaps, to conduct whatever activities you normally do out there?
So tuloy-tuloy pa rin po yung operations natin, no? So he was put into an acting capacity para hindi nga po tayo magkaroon ng leadership vacuum. In that sense as well, we continue with our operational mix in terms of our operations in the area at Westcom.
All right. Thank you so much for coming here, joining us on the big story tonight. I think is it the first time we're seeing her?
No,
Because usually
it's
phone
not.
her.
Okay, on Zoom you mean?
Yeah, right. Thank you so much again. Speaking for the Armed Forces of the Philippines, we have Colonel Francel Padilla.